try and imagine in your mind what an ancient warrior would look like. For me, I've always pictured them as these knights in shining armor, waltzing around town like they own the place, with like these big ass swords hanging on their belts. Now, once you picture that, picture them doing a habit, going over to their little table and putting a tick in the habit tracker box. Do you think they really did that? Hell no. If they did habits, there were only two reasons. They either wanted to do it, or they had a real reason to do it. And that's the logic about habits that every single self-improvement YouTuber has missed. You couldn't just tell a knight that, oh, meditation is good for you, you should do it. The knight wouldn't meditate because he wouldn't have a real reason to do so. But if, let's say, he had a lot of thoughts in his mind that were distracting him during combat, he would start journaling. He would start getting those thoughts out on paper because he had a real reason to do so. Now, if you don't believe me, I'll give you a quick story from my own life. A few weeks ago, almost like a month ago, I got very consistent with journaling. I would come home after school, I would do like my homework or whatever, and before going to bed, I would always sit down and journal for 10 to 15 minutes. Now, this was a habit that I've been trying to build for the past 3 years, and I've failed for the past 3 years to build that habit. Now, the crazy thing is that the thing I built a month ago, the journaling habit, I never actually consciously wanted to like do this. The reason that I started journaling consistently is because I needed to. I was just like trying to make sense of a lot of like insecurities. Yeah, I should have said that, like insecurities about myself. Basically, I needed to journal to get all that stuff out of my head and to make sense of it. And I did that for a solid few weeks. And the crazy thing is that I actually looked forward to it. Like as I was doing stuff, as I was eating dinner, as I was in the shower, I was going over those thoughts in my head and I was thinking like, I cannot wait to sit down and journal through them. Even at some points during school, when I just felt like this flare of insecurity about stuff like college applications coming up, I started journaling in school, bro. I never did that and no one ever told me to do that. But I just started doing it anyway because it felt good. It felt like I was making true progress. It felt like I was actually doing something that benefited me. And recently I've stopped because I've gotten over those insecure thoughts and now I don't need to do it anymore. And I think that's fine. The thing that most self-improvement people miss about habits is that, first of all, they don't understand why they are doing them. For me, if there was no point in me sitting down and journaling, if I didn't have those insecurities to think about, I just kind of sit down and just go through the motions just to tick off the check mark. And that wouldn't really benefit me and I'd end up quitting. Jesus Christ, can the train shut the... So for habits, if there's no clear purpose to why you're doing them, you're going to end up quitting. Are you doing habits because you know they're going to help you, or are you doing them just because someone told you to do them? If there's no greater reason for you to do a habit other than just flexing on someone with how long your streak is, like your meditation streak is, you're gonna end up failing at that habit. That's what I realized and that's what I spent 3 years doing. I spent 3 years failing because I was trying to do things that I truly didn't believe mattered because someone else just told me that, oh, you know, they're kind of nice, they're good for you. But that wasn't enough to actually motivate me to do these habits. The true habit building comes from when you don't even try. When you don't even try to consciously build that habit. Obviously, there's going to be some resistance at the start. You're going to have to force yourself to do these habits a little bit. But the majority of it should come from you just wanting to do it. Like, for example, let's say the gym. Obviously, you're gonna have to force yourself to do it for like a week, maybe a month. But at some point, you're going to want to go. It won't be trying to build a habit anymore because it's just going to be a habit already because you know it's good for you. Everybody knows the gym is good for you. And it feels good, it feels nice, so you're just going to do it. So that's the secret to building habits. Ancient people logic is that they don't do anything anyone else tells them to do. They're gonna do their own thing, and their own thing is the thing that makes them the happiest and the most fulfilled. So if you really enjoyed any part of this video, any of my rambling, if you like talking about connection with nature, connection with like more ancient people, yeah, subscribe and join the Discord because that's what this channel is about. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped build your habits. Yeah, go do some push-ups. Sorry, there's a train. I hate the train. The train is an absolute atrocious piece of I don't understand why the train has to honk its horn 20 times. Like, bro.